AATBirds Weekly Report is the Eagle news, notes, and analysis you need. All about the birds, all birds, all the time.
What's up, everybody? And we have the initial 53-man roster, some practice squad additions, some waivers, some claims. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Matt, you weren't with us on Sunday night. Glad to have you back. Going to talk a little bit about this roster maneuvering. That's always so fun when you see all this goings on and who could potentially be added, what they can do, who gets on the practice squad, what kind of roster shuffling they do. So it's a lot of fun. But how are we doing tonight?
We are doing well. I was a little worried we wouldn't have too much to talk about, that there wouldn't be any surprises, but how we kept us on our toes today. Really, really interesting to see how they balance all of this and maneuver. There are some big surprises that we'll get into, and they continue to surprise us a bit. But I'm excited, man. We're almost in game week. We're almost 1 week away from raising that banner against Dallas. So I'm getting pretty hyped.
Yeah, it's going to be fun here. The initial 53, there was some interesting issue. The way they kind of did it was pretty interesting. As we saw, Charlie Hewlett, who was left off the initial 53, today was re-added. We'll get into why that was and what had to happen for them to have him re-added, everything along the lines of that. But they started with 11 offensive linemen, 10 defensive linemen. They had 5 receivers as Anaya Smith was released. Darius Cooper, your boy, made the 53. So we cash in on that bet. That's a great thing.
Jersey time,
for
baby.
me there.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. And I did post a clip of it. The two different shows. So listen, I had to make it. You see all the posting, you see everything. I had to be the one to say, I was there. I was there first.
Yeah. And I didn't even get Montrell in the practice squad. Which I was upset about it first, but we'll get into why I'm not as upset.
Why you're not as upset. But there was a lot of interesting Kylan Granson made the 53. You had, of course, the 3 quarterbacks. We had, the 3 running backs. AJ Dillon is still there. Will Shipley. We thought there could be potentially a AJ Dillon maneuvering on the practice squad. They didn't do any of that. Left him on the 53-man roster. They let go of Eli Ricks. He was gone. Now, again, we'll get into all the practice squad additions the following day. So this was all on Tuesday. As you guys are hearing this now on Thursday morning, we're recording Wednesday night. So this is after the practice squad and everything along the lines of that. But
I think the one back on the roster, and
Ben Van Sumeren. So
they're making a comeback, baby. Love it.
No, I love it too. So now you and I didn't get into the trades the Eagles made. I did get into it with Mike on Sunday night, but the Eagles made a couple of maneuverings trade-wise. They acquired 2 players and traded 1 away. Of course, Fred Johnson is back as your swing tackle, which was great to see.
Terrific
and you have Sam Howell as your QB3 because Tanner is injured. So, we'll see what goes on with that. But you have another veteran that's had time and has played, and you have him there. And then you traded away Darian Kennard and got a pick back. So, they did some maneuvering along the lines. They did maneuvering along the lines, if you want to put I guess the pun intended on that one.
Yeah. I think they were necessary moves, right? I think we all kind of came to grips with Lamb potentially being that swing tackle. I think we're all high on Hinton, who actually went to injured reserve.
Went to injured reserve, yeah.
We were all pretty high on him. He had some rough moments, but he definitely has the upside. I think he has a strong future with us for sure. But that Fred Johnson move, they know him, he knows us, just won a championship with us. He gives you swing versatility immediately. Lamb was a freaking disaster. He goes back to Miami. I think that was a phenomenal move. And quite honestly, I think they did Darian Kennard a solid by shipping him out.
Because he's probably going to be the first off the bench for the Packers.
Right. And potentially compete. Who knows? They have terrible injury luck on the O-line. But I think they did him a solid, and they flipped something for him, right?
Yeah.
Which means the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl because he's won. He's been on the last three Super Bowl champs. And then, sorry, what was the other trade for Howell? I think all of us would have loved to see Howell play instead of McCord and DTR for the last month. So, Howie said he would upgrade where he could, and I think he did a great job without. I mean, he still has 13 picks. He didn't really do much to damage our inventory of draft picks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once again, I don't want to call it a masterclass, but he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and Brett Toth makes the 53, which great for him. He showed that he could be versatile in terms of playing in different positions, which is key for the Eagles there. Matt Pryor makes the roster, which we kind of figured out that was going to happen with the way he's played.
Props to Chip on that one. We laughed at him when he picked him both on and off camera, and he nailed it.
He was right.
So Chip, if you're watching, golf clap.
Good
job.
When you look at the defensive side of the ball, I think
can we talk about one more surprise there on the offense? If you don't mind, Cameron Williams.
Well,
I get the don't expose him to the waiver wire, but and it was really cool to hear what Howie said about why they kept him. Right? I don't know if you saw that, but it was he basically said if he's there, if we were to pick him in a year, if he had stayed in college and came out next year, where do you think he would be drafted? And the answer to them was probably first or second round.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, well, what happens if he comes out in 2 years, in 3 years? And that's the way they looked at it as like an early draft pick, essentially. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really, really interesting way to put it and kind of justify and give a little transparency into how they think about certain players. And I think he learned his lesson a little bit with, the Dylan McMahon move, who went to the Rams last year, or the year before. I can't keep that straight.
It was last year.
Yeah. So I think he learned a little bit from that and decided to keep his probably 53rd guy on the roster.
Yeah. So, and it's good because he's going to be inactive. Most likely you don't want him to be playing because he wants to he's just there to learn everything. So he's going to be inactive most of the year and everything with that. So that's fine. I'm glad to see that because he gets the tutelage behind some of these vets and great offensive line coach. So that's great. Now going over to the defensive side of the ball, I would say the biggest shock, I wouldn't say shocker, but the biggest one to me that made me say, oh, okay, I didn't expect that, was Okoronkwo. I figured they would let him go and maybe try and get him back on the practice squad since he was a veteran, but they kept all the edge rushers. When we kind of talked about a couple of guys that were on the bubble type, Ojulari, and you had Okoronkwo and you have Uche and all three of those guys.
APR showed out in that last game.
APR showed out, but he was waived, which was interesting because you exposed him to waivers when Okoronkwo wouldn't have been exposed to waivers.
That's
Patrick Johnson also was let go as well, but he was a veteran release. But everything else,
it is interesting that they did that and not and expose APR instead of just keeping You know what I mean? Instead of keeping APR and then whatever. But I guess they figured like he wasn't going to be on the active day roster, so why try it and let's give it a shot. Let's sneak him through. Ogbo, obviously, they felt earned his spot. I don't know if you noticed this on the official roster release. They listed Ogbo as on the D line. So they have a graphic, and it was all of the edge rushers were listed as linebackers, along with the stack backers, and then Ogbo was listed as a D lineman. So it was Carter, Davis, Ojomo, Ty Robinson, Byron Young, and Ogbo.
Isn't he like 6'2", 265? Like
if that, man, he's pretty. He's the only one on the roster listed as a defensive end. He's 6'2", 253.
Okay. The one thing with him though is he does have some get off. Like when he goes,
he's quick as hell, and there's a reason that he's lasted 8 years in the league.
Yeah.
But I just think that's interesting, and I had this argument in another chat about why they listed him as a D end, and I just think it's interesting because in an odd man front, generally a defensive end is on that 4i, right? So like Ojomo and Carter in an odd man front are technically defensive ends. I wonder if there's some sort of contractual necessity for that. Generally they do that when it's like I know Sweat fought for that too. To be listed as a linebacker, partially because he wanted his number to be in the teens, but also because of the pay structure on franchise tagging and restructures. So I wonder if there's a contractual element to that, because he's the only edge rusher who, as far as I know, has the same responsibilities as Jalen Hunt, as Nolan Carroll, as Nolan Smith, as Uche, as Ojulari. As far as I know, there's no difference in his responsibility. But they do have him listed as a DN on the official roster and listed him with the D line on the official reveal. So I think that's pretty interesting, and I'll do some more digging on that to see if I can get an answer. But just wanted to bring that up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the other position I want to bring up too is we talked about Eli Ricks being let go. Keely Ringo is still here for now. He's a good special teams player. If he's not playing, if you have a Dory Jackson and then Jacorian Bennett playing more of the CB1, and Keely is on special teams and does what he does.
Keely, people shit on Keely, but like he got all pro votes. He was on the Pro Bowl ballot as a special teamer. Like he's legit, and he made some big plays to pin opponents in the red zone or in their minus territory in the playoffs. Like he made some difference making plays and some big tackles as a gunner, specifically on punts. So like he may not be CB2 that we wanted him to be, but he still makes quite an impact on special teams. That's not an easy position to play.
No, it's not. And that's fine by me. Like he wasn't like a first or second round pick. He was a fourth round pick. So if he winds up being just a career special teams player and stuff like that, and he plays really well and gets a Pro Bowl, I'm fine with that. Like I don't have any bones to pick. Like not every Georgia player you're going to get is going to be a star. Look, Lewis Seen was waived injured, and it is what it is. It happens. You don't have high caliber NFL players at every single position. They got to play their roles, and if that's his role and he plays it well, I'm totally fine with that.
And quite honestly, I'm okay with him cleaning up in garbage time or in a pinch. Like he's still a really good player. He's not going to be 24 Slay, right? And he's probably not going to be 24 Isaiah Rodgers, but like he still could give you meaningful snaps in a pinch. So like I think he gets unnecessary hate. We gave him a little bit, but like, and he's still what, 23, 22?
Yeah, 23. I think 20. Yeah, I think he's 23. No, you're right. The defensive tackles, you had the backups, Gabe Hall, Byron Young, and Ty Robinson all made it. We knew Ty Robinson was making it.
Man, what a cool story, Gabe Hall.
Yeah, it's great to see for him, kind of that development aspect of like the Eagles and what they want to do. And again, that's why they're one of the youngest teams in the league, because they're able to develop. And that is a key main thing, is when you're able to have draft picks and undrafted free agents that you're able to develop, a la Reed Blankenship. You're able to develop these guys to become productive players. And listen, Andy was able to do that early in his Eagles tenure, and why they went to 5 straight? 4 straight. I can't. Yeah. 5 total, of course, no 80 went. But that's why he was able to sustain success, because they were able to have these guys who are undrafted free agents or late round draft picks that turned into quality starters for them. And their Eagles are able to do that right now. They're able to do that and have that as a main thing for them, that they can, you've signed free agents, everything along the lines of that. But when you sign free agents, you're basically patching your roster. You're not trying to sign a guy to be your star all the time, because it doesn't always work out. Listen, you have, sometimes you hit it big with the Malcolm Jenkins, but sometimes you blow up and you get a Byron Maxwell. Like, it doesn't always work out to the best that you would want it. And I'm interested to see what they do, because one question that I have, and we've had it for a lot of this camp and everything, was what are they doing at safety? Because now they kept 4 safeties on the initial 53, but as we transition into, the Eagles did waive a couple players today and claim one and re-sign somebody. So they re-signed Charlie Hewlett, like I said. They waived Trevor Keegan, the guard, and they claimed center Willie Lampkin from the Rams, but they also waived Tristan McCollum. So now they have 3 safeties on the roster, and Makuba didn't practice today. So
they also
it's going to be interesting to see.
They also have Andre Sam, who they seem to really, really like. That they can elevate him. I think he could give you some at least really good special teams snaps during a game. But remember, they also were playing Coop at safety at times. So if
it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
If they feel like going base a little bit. But yeah, I would assume at some point that McCollum either comes back to the 53. Let's say Lampkin, who was claimed injured, waived injured and claimed by the Eagles. I would assume that they at least consider putting him on IR, depending on how he does in his physical. And if he does, you bring back McCollum. Or you can try to get him onto that practice squad and elevate him for a couple weeks and assess Lampkin from there. So they have some flexibility, but McCollum was a surprise to me, a surprise cut. And coincidentally, I think Keegan was a surprise that he made the roster, in my opinion.
Well, I thought it was down to Keegan and Toth.
I would take Toth over Keegan.
But I think the thing with Toth was, like, you could cut him, and he's a veteran, so he would, if you cut him and say, we'll put you on the practice squad right away. But again, listen, we don't know. Tomorrow, Keegan could end up back on the practice squad. Or McCollum.
Keegan, a six round pick?
Yeah, I think he was a 6th round pick. 5th or 6th.
I don't think Keegan is irreplaceable. I don't think Toth is either, but and we're really splitting hairs at this point.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
But like Keegan didn't really show much. He was relatively limited at left guard for a majority of his time here thus far. He played some right guard this year towards the end of the preseason. He played some center, not well, but he played it. And I think Howie likes to keep his draft picks. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back to the practice squad. But yeah, I thought it was a surprise that he made the roster, to be honest with you, especially with Pryor and Toth and their versatility.
So the Eagles, they did announce on the website there are 14 players that they had signed to the practice squad. There is another one that we'll get into, the 15th player has been reported but hasn't been officially announced.
Yeah.
So the 14 players that were announced is Chance Campbell, linebacker, wide receiver Elijah Cooks, guard Kenyon Green, tight end EJ Jenkins, cornerback Brandon Johnson, who does play some safety cornerback. He kind of played a number of things, but then he ended training camp as a corner. Outside backer, Patrick Johnson. Tight end, Cameron Latu. Wide receiver, Terrace Marshall. Quarterback, Kyle McCord. Corner, Perry Nickerson. Tackle / guard, Holland Pierce. Outside backer, APR, Antoine Powell-Ryland. Corner, Eli Ricks. Safety, Andre Sam.
Yeah.
And then we got reports that they had signed to the practice squad running back Audric Estime from the Broncos, who they was waived by the Broncos, former Notre Dame running back. So, listen.
Dude, I love that pickup, by the way. I love it.
Man,
I was obsessed with Estime coming out. Obsessed. Like, I was actually like legit bummed for a day or two when he ran a 4.7 at the combine. Because he just felt so much faster. And then he came out as pro day and popped off a 4.5, and I was like, I'm back in. I'm back in on this dude. I thought he would have been a really good fit for the offense last year under Kellen. I loved his tape. If you guys haven't seen him, pop on his highlights, dude. He is hella fun to watch, at least in college. With this offensive line, I think he'd be fun to watch. So I'm excited about the upside there, for sure.
So I do want to get in quickly. We talked about the practice squad. We've said that. I do want to get into the player the Eagles claimed. And Willie Lampkin today from the Rams was an undrafted free agent out of North Carolina, was in the Senior Bowl. He was a All-American, 5'11", little under 5'11", 290. So he's not a big guy, but he is like a fire hydrant.
Dude, he's a spark plug for sure.
So
if you haven't seen some of those clips of him at the Senior Bowl, he's feisty. Or even in week 1 of the preseason against the Cowboys. I mean, Brian Baldinger put out a really good cut up of his highlights against the Cowboys. Check it out. He's nasty. He's a nasty, feisty, violent dude who plays so much bigger than 5'11", 290.
And it's pretty cool though to see him. That 62 when he on the Rams really fit him.
Right. He looked kind of like a Black Kelsey. He did.
He's not getting 62, unfortunately. Here,
no,
they don't give out any numbers. They're not going to give out any.
I'm guessing 52. That's my guess.
All right, we'll see what they.
In college, 62 here. I'm guessing 52.
It's a good guess. But no, I think it was a great pickup. We'll kind of see what goes with that and everything. But I'm really intrigued by that and what they did there. Now with the 2 additions, Sam Howell, as you kind of talk about jersey numbers, might as well get into a little bit of jersey number sickness that we have when we talk about players and when they get their numbers and when players are
more tomorrow when we think it becomes official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sam Howell took 14, which you and I had talked about that. Fred Johnson took his 74 back because Kendall Lamb had that. Kendall Lamb is no longer on the Eagles, so he got 74 back. So now we wait basically because as the guys you see on the screen here, Darius Cooper cannot be in 41 anymore. They need to give him 18 would be perfect. I think that'd be great. Get him that number. Get him out of the 40s. It just needs to be done.
Can we talk about I want to talk about how bullshit it is that the practice squad gets dibs over the 53. You know what I mean? Like Eli Ricks kept 23, but if like Jacorian Bennett wants 23, he should be able to go, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like I get that they want to do right. Oh, and Antoine APR is 52, so that's off the table. So that sucks. But
if we look at all the practice squad players that the Eagles announced, so if we look at it, Chance Campbell was 59, so he would keep 59. Elijah Cooks was 86. I expect him to keep 86.
Yep.
Kenyon Green was 76.
He'll keep that.
EJ Jenkins was 84. Brandon Johnson was 35.
Yep.
Patrick Johnson, 48. Keep that. Cameron Latu was 49. He'll probably just stay 49.
Yeah.
Terrace Marshall, he was 46. Now we'll see what one of the 80 numbers, maybe 82. Wasn't he 82 with, I would think 82 may be his number.
88, I believe.
He was 88.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he goes 82. Something in the 80s. Maybe he goes 80.
Oh, yes. 82 is open.
Yeah. Kyle McCord will stay with 19. Perry Nickerson probably will stay with 34. Holland Pierce, 63. Probably keep that.
Solid number.
Unless, you know what? Here's one for you. I think
Yeah.
Holland Pierce needs to take 72.
Dude, I'm all for it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, a little Trey Thomas flashback.
Well, what did he wear? What did he wear at Rutgers? Didn't he wear 72 at Rutgers?
Was he 71?
He wore 72.
72.
There we go. So I'm going to say he takes 72. Antoine
Did they even give
Power
that out? Who's the last person to wear 72?
Kennard.
Solid. All right.
He's gone.
Good pull.
Eli Ricks will probably keep 23. And Andre Sam will probably keep 31. So
Eli Ricks needs to get out of 23. Give him back his 39, and let's give 23 to Bennett and put Darius Cooper in 18. Darius Cooper has to take 18.
18, yeah.
He has
to.
You
think? I'm trying to think. What other number could Jacorian Bennett take? I'm trying to think of the other numbers that are.
Well, let's look. You've got so available in the teens. You're pretty much done in the teens, right? Because like 0 through, let's see, 0 is taken. 1 obviously hurts. 2, 3, 4, 5 is retired. 6, 7, 8, 9 is retired unofficially. 10, 11, 12 unofficially retired. 13, 14, 15 retired. 16 is taken. 17 is taken. 18 is open. 19 is taken. So nothing below 20. 20 is obviously off the table. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 is unretired. 26, 27, 28, 29 are taken. So he really doesn't have that many numbers. You have 30, 31 are taken, 32, 33, 34 is taken, 35 is taken. 36 is open.
Why am I blanking at 32?
Blankenship.
Oh, I don't know why I'm.
It's all good.
Wow, that was bad.
All good. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. Yeah. So like 36 is available. 37 probably goes to Estime. Should he sign here? That was his number his rookie year. Excuse me. 38.
Running back with 37.
I know. But he likes the number 7. So Lewis Seen, if he reverts to IR, gets 38. 39 is going back to Eli Ricks.
40's retired.
40's retired. 41 is taken by your boy.
You know what?
So there's not a lot.
I wouldn't mind Jacorian Bennett in 41.
Give that Darby vibe.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. 23. 23 has to happen.
The number game's always interesting, especially, and it always pops up every time we kind of bring up the number game, and actually, always ones with the ones that are unofficially retired. And it just sucks that you're not able to see, like how cool would it be to see like a Darius Cooper in number 12?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
15.
Yeah. For me, it's just, I'd like to see 9. Come on. I get it. I get it. Foles won a Super Bowl with it, but come on. We need to stop. It's been enough time.
Dude,
give out number 9.
If they're not in the Hall of Fame or win a Super Bowl, you know what? If they're not in the Hall of Fame, don't retire the number. It's that simple.
But before we get to the last, I want to just bring up this. It's just funny because when you look at number 17's been given out. Harold Carmichael has been given out like nothing. Yeah. Number 7 has been given out like crazy. It was Jaws.
82, quick.
82, quick. I get it. People.
Yeah.
But 55 needs to be given out in a couple of years. 91 needs to be given out. Like, just stop with it. 9 needs to be given out. 25 needs to be given out. Like, it just needs to stop. Like,
you're preaching to the choir, man. I am well documented at how much I hate retiring numbers.
Plus,
and even more than retiring number is unofficially retiring numbers.
Yeah.
Like, if there's one thing I dislike more than retiring numbers, it's unofficially doing.
It's just taking them off the shelf without even really telling anybody, and just we're not going to give this out.
Any sort of pomp and circumstance, without any like ring of honor or anything like
that.
My
thing is this: why is Randall's number unofficially retired? What did he do that Jaws didn't do? Because it's nothing. I'm just saying.
Listen, he was. I see.
He's electric. He was a hell of a talent. He should potentially be in the Hall of Fame, but
he was he broke down walls though, and he was a pioneer for black quarterbacks. And without Randall, and I think it's more than the Eagles organization. I think it's more. I don't want to say he has the impact of Jackie Robinson because that's ridiculous, but he was a big influence in athletic black quarterbacks and a reason that we have such a storied career and history here in Philadelphia with McNabb, with Vic, with Hurts. He paved the way. He's more important, I think, to football and the history of Philadelphia than Jaws. And I know that's I might get shit for that, but
no,
his impact in sport in general was so...
understand that, but we've talked about it. They should just do
trust me, I get it. If you're going from numbers,
honor,
if you're going from numbers, but if you're going from stats and he took him to a Super Bowl and he's a more accomplished player, I totally get it. But I think it's more than that for Jeffrey Lurie.
I just think too is I understand the Nick Foles aspect in 9 and everything, but
I don't.
A player like Malcolm Jenkins,
that's what I'm saying.
I understand. You want to hold it for a couple of years because he won Super Bowl. I get that, but for them to hold it this long and still not give it out, but a guy like Malcolm Jenkins, you let go, and then the next year, Zach McPherson, a rookie, takes 27.
Yeah. Yeah. And how dare they disrespect number 30 and Corey Clement and give it to Jahad Campbell? That's just disrespectful.
I was thinking more like Charlie Gardner.
Yeah, hell yeah. Or Brian Mitchell, B. Mitch.
Yeah.
Wasn't Charlie Gardner 25 at one point?
He was. He started 25, then went to 30.
And then went to 30. So, yeah, no, listen, that's actually an interesting topic, and I'd like to... Maybe we'll grab a beer sometime and chat about Cunningham and all the retired numbers. I think that's a fun conversation. But I'm really excited just to see this roster construction and to see how Howie maneuvers this and juggles the balls that are currently up in the air, because they're definitely not done. I mean, this is gonna continue to evolve all the way through Thursday.
No, it's not done because as we've seen, that just came out before we recorded this, was Eagles put a waiver claim in for Jalen Armour-Davis, a corner that was waived by the Ravens. Of course, he was claimed by the Titans, who were number 1 in the waiver wire, so you weren't getting him. But they put a claim in for a corner, so that they're still looking.
Titans went ape shit on the waiver wire, by the way.
The thing I gotta look and see what players were let go from all the teams that claimed, because you have to get rid of somebody or IR somebody, or what moves were made. We'll have to look into that. They may not have been big names or anything, but we'll see what moves were made on that. The other thing I want to bring up before we sign off here is, when the hell are we going to get the Kelly Green games?
All the alternate games. It's a good question. When did they release it last year?
Let me take a look. I think that's a good thing to...
They're usually pretty spot on with their timing. So they released it on June 28th.
Yeah, it's August 27th.
They're a little late. And just while we're looking that up, just a reminder, we do get to, there's a couple rule changes this year. We do get 4 games this year with alternate uniforms. So that counts for either the all black, or just a black jersey, and the Kelly green. So they have 4 times.
In 2023, they announced it looks like July 31st.
Well, and that's a little different because that's the first year we had them.
Yeah.
So I think there was a little bit more excitement about that. But I think in 24, they announced it on June 28th.
Yeah. So
they're a little late.
No. Little.
Yeah, we wore it against the Jags and we wore it against the Cowboys this year.
Mm-hmm.
So they're about a month late, unless we missed something. If we did, hit us up in the comments. But the other thing I was saying is, so we get 4 times to wear those uniforms, and I believe we also are allowed to mix and match alternate helmets with uniforms. So if we wanted to wear the Oreos that we did in Brazil, black helmet, white jersey, black pants, that does not count as an alternate, from what I understand.
Interesting.
The alternate would be the jersey itself, and not necessarily the helmet. So there's a little bit more optionality this year for the Eagles from a uniform perspective. They're obviously not going to wear their Kelly green helmet with their black jersey and midnight green pants, but and if they did, it would be a sin. But they can at least play with the black helmets a little bit, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. But no, with that, as we always do, we'll always end it with a very happy and joyful Go Birds.
This is Matt Ware. Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey, Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds.
Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, a.k.a. Fred X. It's all about the bird.
All birds all the time. All birds all the time.
All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.